Hello, and welcome back to the Spoilercast, the show where we talk about movies and we don't care about spoiling them. And today is a very special day. First and foremost, because it's not Thursday, we're doing this on a Friday. Why? None of your business! But it's also very special because we are finally going to talk about one of my all-time favorite movie series or franchises.
One of ours.
Yes, yeah,
favorite.
sure, yeah.
Thank you. Please include me.
Yes, we're talking about the Fast and Furious franchise. And yeah, it's
was wild.
yes, all in preparation for Fast 9 or whatever, Fast and Furious 9.
Yeah,
That's unfortunately,
the full title, right?
yeah, we have to wait another 12 days to watch because Sweden. So we thought in the meantime we'll talk about the other Fast and Furious movies. Because, believe it or not, I like all of them almost. Some of them I even love.
Yes.
Yeah, and as always, I am Tobias, and with me is my trusty sister and co-host, Rebecca.
Trusty sister.
Sister and trusty co-host, Rebecca.
Hello.
Hello.
And
Right.
today we're starting with the first 4 movies.
Yes.
Because we have
Since
a few to go through.
yeah, so we'll do 4 today, 4 next Thursday. But we're going to continue the Fast and Furious extravaganza even on the Patreon exclusive episodes. So this Monday, we're going to talk about the failed Fast and Furious spin-off, Torque. If you want to listen to that. And the Monday after that, we're going to talk about the other, not really Fast and Furious spin-off, but it was made by the same people. And it was about cars. Hurricane Heist, which came out a few years ago.
Wannabe Fast and Furious, maybe?
Sort of, yeah. I mean, they took the heist element from Fast and Furious. But anyway, and if you want to hear those episodes and a bunch of other episodes that are exclusive to Patreon, all you gotta do is hit the subscribe button for $3 a month. You get an exclusive episode each week, plus a completely new and fully exclusive podcast called Madness in the Method. You're gonna have to check that one out on Patreon.
Yeah.
But also, you get videos in advance. You get to decide what we talk about here on the Spoilercast. A bunch of exclusive other stuff, commentary tracks, whatever, you know. So much stuff, and all for about $3 a month. So,
Yeah.
if you can spare one small Starbucks coffee each month, you get all that stuff. Anyway, enough of that.
Anyway.
Let's actually talk about Fast and Furious, or the Fast and the Furious to start with.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So
Start with the first one, obviously.
yeah. And when did you see the first one the first time you saw it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember the first time I saw the first movie. I do remember the first time I saw the second movie.
Okay.
So I'm quite unsure if I even saw the first one before the second, but you probably told me to.
I don't know, because I remember me and our dad rented the first one on VHS all the way back in 2000 or 2001 or whatever when it came out on video in
2001.
Sweden. Yeah, 2001.
It's the release year, so probably late 2001, maybe even 2002.
No. I think the official release back then was I think it's between 3 and 6 months for a home video release. So
it released in October 2001 in Sweden.
in the cinema. Well, I guess
yes,
2002 then.
probably.
Either way.
How old was I in 2001? I probably saw it with you. I must have.
You were 6.
Well, I saw James Bond when I was 5, so.
Yeah, man. Okay, whatever. Let's continue with the conversation.
Yes. Sorry.
Right. So I saw it back in the beginning of the 2000s, 2002.
Probably.
And I gotta say, and it is a weird one because I'm not a car guy, I mean, back then I was like 10, so I wasn't any guy really, other than I liked Batman, I think. Um, but there was something about the movie, other than just it being, a car movie, that, um, made me like it. I liked the movie back then. But I gotta say, I didn't really become a fan until much, much later, like a big fan. Um,
Yeah.
but we'll talk about that as those movies come closer. Um, but do you remember what you thought of the movie the first time you watched it? Like I said, I really liked it.
I mean, I've always liked the Fast and Furious movies, so I'm assuming I liked the first one when I did see it. Because I remember loving the second one, so I must have liked the first one as well.
That's so weird. The second one.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll talk about that when we get to the second one. um, yeah.
And I mean, I still love it, even though it's a bit
dated.
dated.
Yeah.
I don't care. The few things that dated is something I can live with. The rest of the movie is, I want to say perfect, but that's not the right word.
No.
It's not perfect.
None of them are perfect.
But it's
far from perfect.
Perfectly, like, dumb action movie.
Yes. And that's also something we should discuss, because I think these movies have unfairly, maybe not so much now, but earlier in the franchise's life, they were unfairly like looked down upon as just dumb car movies, which they are to some degree. They are dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not like cleverly written or anything.
No, there's no intricate story to figure out or anything.
No.
It's very basic.
But I think people just looked at it, and because specifically the first one has a lot of like car racing in it, they thought it's just a stupid race movie. But we both know that, and that it didn't become like a proper action movie until the fifth one. Because the fifth one, then they introduced the whole criminal element, so to speak.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Specifically criminal element, I suppose, because there are criminals even in the first one.
That's what I was getting at.
Sorry.
It's called whatever. I'm just gonna say preposition. That's not right. But it's just one again, because there are some elements that were introduced in the first movie that are still there to this day and are like part of the franchise to this day, and things that people probably don't think about. Like the first movie, literally the first scene is a heist scene where they commit crimes, vehicular crimes. They steal a truck full of DVD players and TVs or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And there's this very reminiscent of some of the later movies, like heist scenes in cars. Specifically, the fourth movie, it starts almost the same way, but with gasoline.
I mean, it also reminds me of now I can't remember which one it is, where they have to drive up to that train and steal cars from it.
That's the fifth one.
That's the fifth one. See, it has the same sense,
even
though it's train this time, not a truck.
Yeah, but it's a similar thing.
Yeah,
it's they're heist movies with cars in them, and even though they are early on focused more on the racing, that was always a part of it. The crime element was always there.
Yes.
So, but people just, I think, didn't watch it because, because of having preconceived notions about what they thought the movie was when they saw the trailer.
Yeah, probably.
And I probably, I can't remember what I thought about the trailer back then. I mean, but I did watch the first movie, and that's why I'm kind of a fan of the movie. Or I bet that's why I'm a fan now, because I gave it a chance. But I was dismissive as well when I got a little older. I was like, no, those are dumb car movies. But I secretly enjoyed the first one. But we'll
back when it was still kind of shameful.
yes, yeah, because nowadays a lot of people have finally come clean, or at least understood what's like that. They are fun movies. They're good entertainment.
I still feel like some people might skip the first and the second one.
Yeah.
Maybe even the third one. I'm not sure.
Well, yeah. And that's because the first two are the ones that have aged the worst.
Yes, definitely.
We could just get into that right away. They are still like, even though the first one is not far from the worst movie in the franchise. That one and the second one are the like black sheeps of the franchise because
Yes.
they have aged horribly. Not all around, but some
No,
like
mainly,
specific
like,
things.
Fashion and music, I suppose.
Yes, fashion and music. So let's actually get into the first movie. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can just look at the main cast here in the background. They look like a not a boy band, but a music group from the early 2000s. It looks horrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is the biggest thing I still can't get over. I mean, the clothes are so specifically like early 2000s.
Very alt, though.
What?
They're very specific 2000s group of fashion. It's not all 2000s, but
No, but I mean the cool hip style.
yeah.
We didn't dress exactly like this in school, but there are definitely like elements that
Oh yes.
we saw all over school back then.
The chokers, the tank
Oh
tops,
yes.
accessories.
Yeah, the weird tank top thing that Jordana Brewster is wearing. The goddamn what are they called? Plateau shoes?
Oh yeah.
That Michelle Rodriguez wears. We call those buffaloes in Sweden. I'm not sure. I think the
We did.
yeah, well, we did back in the 2000s. They were not specifically those, but that kind of shoe. I think it was the brand was Buffalo. I'm not sure.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
No, because you were like 6.
Yeah.
And it is like when you're making a movie, you should try. You don't have to aim for like a timeless look or anything, but it certainly helps with like having your movie be watchable a few years later. But a movie like this, and I think that's part of why people were so and are so dismissive about the first one and the second one, is that it feels like they're only trying they're only for a very like temporary audience. Like they're not looking to make a timeless classic. They just want the teenagers to go see the movie and get us some money, That's why they're
then.
Yeah, they wanted to placate to the audience back then, the lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
And I think that is a big part of why like I said, people were so dismissive towards it, because it just felt like they were just picking things that were popular then, just to put asses in seats.
Yeah.
And that is why they did it. Obviously. I mean, and nothing. You mentioned the music. Terrible music in the first one.
Yeah.
I mean, they have one Limp Bizkit song. Some would say that is also terrible, but I liked it.
Limp Bizkit hasn't aged as badly as some of the other songs.
Well, some of Limp Bizkit has. I can admit to that, true. Even though I'm a fan. But then there are, but that's just what people see. Then there are these other elements that are more timeless that we have seen in other movies. The whole undercover cop infiltrating a group and then slowly becoming infatuated with the criminals. I mean,
almost Stockholm Syndrome style, but not.
Yeah, but
really,
not a hostage. So.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's also something we should discuss. That the script for this movie actually started out as a remake of Point Break.
Oh.
I don't know if you've seen Point Break, the Keanu Reeves. What's his name? The other guy. Patrick Swayze
I know
movie.
which movie it is. I'm not sure if I've seen it.
The extreme sports movie. We're gonna surf and skydive. Whoa.
Yeah, I know it's about surfing or something.
Yeah, mostly about surfing. Yeah. But Keanu Reeves, who plays Johnny Yuma, infiltrates a surf gang who robs banks, or he thinks they robs banks. It's basically the same story, but with cars instead of surfboards.
Yeah.
But that movie's great. And this one, the Fast and the Furious, is a better remake of Point Break than the actual Point Break remake that came out a few years ago. That one sucked. Because it was taking the whole thing way too serious. And
When it's surfer dudes, you gotta be a bit chill.
yes,
Like, you
yes.
can't be serious.
No, yeah, you gotta what's it called? You gotta go with the flow, basically.
Yes.
Anamma stilen, som det heter på svenska.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a good
Exactly. I don't know.
translation, but
I don't know how to
more like
translate
go with the flow,
anamma.
basically.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah. So and those are the elements that work. The whole
Yes.
underground culture, car culture part works because it's not
Yeah.
just flashy cars. It's actually the characters and the director and the screen artist seems to have a passion for this kind of underground culture, which also works for both the main character, the cop, undercover cop, and the audience who then become infatuated with these criminals.
Yeah.
Because that's something, that's another element that comes back throughout the entire franchise. That no matter which side of the law they're on, the bad guys or the good guys who are against the family, so to speak, the team, always like become infatuated with them and like join the team. I mean,
There's something about Vin Diesel's character.
yeah, what he and the whole family or team, as they call it in this one, the family
Yeah, they
meme
haven't
is not
become a
in the
family
first
yet.
one. Yeah.
No. I think that's like 5, maybe. They start doing the family thing.
Starts more with the but I mean the family aspect is there already. They have dinners together. They feels like they basically all live in the same house.
Everyone's always hanging out at the Toretto house or at the diner that Mia works at. I'm not sure what that is, but it looks like a shack.
Yeah, it's some sort of sandwich shop.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is this magnetism towards that kind of camaraderie and the ambiance surrounding that
vibe.
Group. Yeah, the vibe. Thank you.
Ambiance.
Yeah.
Vibes are better.
Yeah, and that's very interesting because, like I said, it's almost like it's almost a meta thing. Because even though we find out later in the movie, they are the bad guys who are robbing people. We still root for them, and in the end, instead of arresting Vin Diesel, Paul Walker gives him an escape car so he can run away from the cops.
Yeah.
And we're all like, yes, you did the right thing. But wait a minute.
Yeah, because technically they are bad guys. But I mean, there are worse guys in this movie. We have the...
Are there, though?
Johnny Tran and his gang.
Oh, sure. Yeah, sure. But I mean, they're not like... Yeah, they do become the bad guys when they kill Jesse, but I mean, I mean, there's not really a bad guy in this one. I mean, there is that one, but it's almost like a side plot. The whole Johnny Tran and Jesse losing his car to Johnny. They're not.
That's just because they have to have some sort of adversary. Because the cops are obviously not even close to being like a problem.
No.
Except for the fact that they technically have one infiltrating them, but he doesn't really. He kind of loses the whole cop aspect straight away.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah. So and that's part of what makes the story interesting to watch, because it's well played how he gradually becomes part of that crew, and then in the end he just turns. It's like, yeah, fuck my job, fuck the law. Here you go, man. Take my car, run away. But
go on, brother.
Yeah, but as an audience, we do not question it for a second.
Nope. Not at all.
So,
honestly, I haven't even thought about that until you said it now, that, like, technically they are bad guys. I mean...
Yes, they are. They're criminals. I mean, even if they weren't stealing DVD players, it's still illegal to street race. So, they're criminals, whichever way you look at it, but we still root for them.
That's true.
And I mean, that's not
so
unique
cool.
to it's not unique to Fast and Furious. There's a bunch of movies where we cheer for the bad guys, but I mean,
obviously
it works here. I mean, so that aspect of the script is well written enough.
Yes.
Then there are other parts of the script that isn't very well written. Most of the dialogue,
It's a bit.
especially Paul Walker and Vin Diesel, their dialogue is horrendous from time to time.
Yes.
I don't have any specific like lines,
I
but
mean,
I mean it's just
it's
like
it's kind of very much the same between them all the time. Even though they change their relationship, the way they talk is always the same.
yes,
Even if they're talking about something like scary or important, they always have the same like tone of dialogue.
yeah, but that's the acting. I'm talking about the writing.
Yeah, but I mean, even the writing isn't like it's not written in a way that would make them act
No,
excited
okay,
or
okay.
scared.
No, sure,
It's
yeah.
written very,
It's a lot of
very chill.
yeah. It's a lot of cool lines like yeah.
Yeah.
You can have any beer you want as long as it's Corona.
Yes.
uh,
Which I agree on.
yeah, that also became a thing. Like his favorite beer is Corona. Like
Yeah.
sure, it's not gross, but I mean there are much better beers. Like
Depends.
they make a well yeah they make a joke about that in the seventh movie. We'll get to that in the next episode, but
Yes.
where Mr. Nobody offers him a nice German beer, and he's like, "No thanks, I'll take a Corona."
Yeah.
God, stop it. Anyway,
Anyway.
yeah, and talking more about why I think even back in the first one, the seeds were planted for what the franchise would become, and why people shouldn't be so dismissive of the first one. We talked about the heist element, the crime element, and the family element. It's all there, but it's what's
Yes.
also there, even though it's very much more toned down than it is in later ones. The stunts.
Oh yeah.
Like we said, the first heist scene in the movie, we have people jumping between cars.
Ooh yeah.
We have the scene where they do one of the coolest car stunts ever. That they do regularly in
Oh,
movies, where they
the
drive in
one where they go under
between the
the
wheels
truck.
of the truck.
Oh,
Yeah, of the
looks so
trailer.
awesome.
Yes. And they show all this. Then there is a similar scene in the end of the movie, but then there bunch more people jumping between cars. They're flipping cars. They're shooting
Oh
from
yeah,
cars to cars. When
when Vince
Vince
gets
gets his arm
in
stuck in the
the
wire.
wire
Yeah.
thing, yeah. Oh,
And it's literally I looked at
so
it.
exciting.
When I rewatched the movie, I actually like looked through it frame by frame. And in the scenes where they're actually going fast, there are stunt people doing it.
Yes.
But the scenes where they're still driving, though they're driving slower, it's Jordana Brewster driving the car, Vince hanging off the truck, and Paul Walker jumping between the car and the truck. It's not they're not stunt people doing that. I mean they're going like 30 miles per hour, but still.
Sure.
That's dedication. I mean stunts.
I did read somewhere that Paul Walker was he was already racing on his private time.
Oh yeah,
basically.
he was a car guy. He was a car guy.
Yeah.
That's why he took the job probably. Or why he did the audition, I suppose.
Yeah.
And that's we'll get to that. That's why he died 13 years later. But we'll get to that.
That's for the next episode.
That's for the next episode. And there aren't that many more stunts in the movie, but we have those two big set pieces. I mean, you have the cars and everyone driving the cars, but I mean that's just stunt people driving.
They're not. Yeah, that's not stunts. That's just fast cars.
Yeah,
fast cars is in everything nowadays.
Yeah, but you have those two set pieces in the movie, which is also like so. It was always there. Because like we mentioned before, I think a lot of people are, of course, hardcore fans since the beginning. But I think most people found the franchise with the fifth one because there is a change in style with the fifth one.
Yes.
Where they had more stunts, more set pieces, and less races. And people are like, oh,
That's
finally,
finally
the movies are good, and now we can watch them. And it's always been there. You just gotta, just gotta look for it.
Yeah. I mean, they started out much smaller. There's, like you said, there's not a lot of big stunts in the first one. There's two slightly bigger stunts in the second one.
Yeah. And
I can't even think of if there's one in the third one though.
the third one doesn't really have any stunts like that, except for when they blow up Han's car. That's about it.
Yeah.
But there's no big stunts in that one. That one,
No.
we'll get to that when we talk about the third one, which we should do soon. um, but yeah, but it is all there from the beginning.
Yes.
So I think that's
The
something.
basics are there, and the same like type of plot is there.
Yeah.
I was about to say the same plot, but no, that's not true.
That's not really
plot
true.
the plot does change.
Yes, slightly.
Slightly. Or some of them.
Yes.
The second one does have a different plot.
Yeah, sort of, but it is similar.
It is similar. All of them are kind of similar.
Undercover guys infiltrating a criminal gang and trying to stop them.
That's true. Well, yeah, that's true. It's more similar than you think, maybe.
Yeah, and that's why Vin Diesel doesn't appear in the movie. But we'll talk about that when we finish up our discussion of the second one. So let's start talking about the second one.
Yes.
Or just quickly, I guess we already said that, but we both like the first one.
Yes, obviously.
We're not gonna.
I like it.
We'll wait.
We're not gonna rank it.
No, we're not gonna rank. We're not gonna rank all of them. But I mean, would you say it's like in the middle or in the top, or give us an approximate?
Probably somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
It's not the worst. It's not the best.
Okay. Yeah, I would say the same thing. However, the second one, for me, is one of the worst ones, and it's part of why I didn't become a fan until I saw. Until I saw all of them. I mean, up until we'll talk about that. I wasn't really a fan until like 2009, 2010.
I fell in love with the second one.
That's so weird. It is. Ugh.
I remember watching that probably back to back a few times.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was DVD or video, but I had a TV in my room.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it so many times. I literally fell in love with Suki.
Devon Aoki, yeah.
And I wanted to draw cars like she does. That's true, probably. I even started drawing cars like she's doing in the movie because I was like, yes. And I mean, I think I love it more because of I love the fact that they had more colors and more sounds and more, because the engine sounds are louder in the second movie.
I don't know about that, but that's exactly why I don't like it.
Well, I'm a child. I like the colors and sounds.
Flashing lights, yeah.
Yes.
No, but yeah, where the first one, like, yeah, it has aged poorly when it comes to fashion and some of the music. The second one is almost worse. Like, there was a lot of color coordination between cars and drivers in the first one.
Yes.
Like, they had similar tones of colors.
If you had, like, blue and silver, you kept to, like, blue tones.
Yeah, there's specifically the scene when they all pull up to the place where Mia works. And
the
the cars is just like, oh,
everyone's wearing sort of coordinated colors to their car color.
It's disgusting. But that's really only in that scene. There's a little bit in the race war scene later, but that's about it. The second one, I mean, Paul Walker, he drives in the beginning of the movie. He drives a blue car. So
silver with blue, I think.
Yeah, it has
silver or something.
It has silver streaks on it.
Something like that.
Yeah. The neon beneath is blue, the same shade of blue, and he's wearing an oversized, plain colored, exactly the same shade of blue T-shirt.
Yes.
He's like
jeans, blue jeans.
Yeah, but you just that shirt is just all over you, and it looks so stupid. And everyone else, you talked about Devon Aoki, whatever, Suki. Suki.
Everything about her is pink.
Everything is pink. The car is pink. She wears pink. The neon is pink. All her computer things are pink.
Wearing pink.
Her pit crew, whatever you want to call it, they're all wearing pink. And then you have the guy with the afro who's got like a tan colored car almost.
Slapjack, I think.
I don't know I don't think
Michael
they get
Ealy.
names. Yeah. Same thing there. It's all the same
It's
color.
all mustard and tan, basically.
Yeah, and the same thing. He has like a pit crew or a crew, and
Yes.
they're all
It's
wearing like
when they
jumpsuits
pan over the
or
cars, you
sweatsuits.
only see his people behind the car, and
Yeah,
everyone's wearing the same color.
and it
Even the
looks
same material, basically.
yeah, it looks terrible. And
I
even
love
though
it.
even though everything isn't as color coordinated later in the movie, there's so many like bright colors and it feels
That's Miami,
cartoony.
baby.
I know, and that's also part of it. Um, Miami just doesn't feel, for me at least, doesn't feel as exciting as Los Angeles.
No, that's
And
true. I'll agree to that.
it's something about the look to the movie, even though the first movie cost $38 million. It's a fairly like mid-budget back then,
Mm-hmm.
or like almost low budget. But because it was such a hit, it made like $200 million worldwide. They're like, okay, we're making a sequel. We're gonna throw some money at it. So the second movie had a budget of $78 million back in 2003, 4.
3
And
when it released.
yeah, somehow it feels cheaper. And
Yeah, but I think it's all the colors and stuff.
yeah, it just looks worse somehow. Yeah, I think that's a combination between bad like style choices and just the fact that instead of taking place in the city of Los Angeles and you know in an urban environment like that where you have skyscrapers and garages and stuff, it takes place in like a trailer park and like they're
Outside the mansion, and then you have like
outside a
back
garage.
roads.
Yeah, there's a lot of like there's not a lot of like production value to the sets other than the big
No.
mansion. That's a big, because they had more money. Just make it more
Yeah,
better.
but
What the hell?
a lot of the money was probably spent on like the neon lights, because you had to have a full crew all the time keeping up that. Because back in 2003, neon was expensive. I mean,
but
it's still kind of
not
expensive.
$78 million.
Probably not.
And I mean, they don't have any big stars in the movie. They're not paying them like $20 million each.
No, they do have more people though. It feels like.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, they're more. It's a bigger cast, but the main crew feels much smaller. There's no sense of family at all in the second one.
No, because you get a lot of separation. It's really just Brian and Roman doing their stuff, and then occasionally you have Suki and Tesh and Jimmy.
Yeah, but they're just there sometimes.
Yeah, they're in in the beginning. Yeah, they're in a couple of scenes.
Yeah.
But then when all the work starts, all the undercover work starts, I think they're in like 1 or 2 scenes.
Yeah. And all that just adds up to the second one being much worse than the first one. And also, like I mentioned, that it's more or less just a retread of the first one. The only difference is that this time Paul Walker, or Brian, he isn't a cop because, you know, he got thrown out after what he did in the first movie.
Yeah.
But here they recruit him anyway because he's a car guy. And he has to recruit another guy to be his like second or whatever.
Well, he kind of demands having him if he's gonna do the job.
Well, yeah, but
we need to have a racer to be able to do this job. So
yeah, but I mean,
we don't know any other racers in the force.
No, but I mean, yeah, they demand that he has a partner on the job, but the partner they give him don't know anything about cars, so he picks his old friend from Borstal.
Yeah, what is it he says? He's like
12
gulp or 24
no,
gulp.
it says, so you know something about cars? Sure. So okay, what's the best engine for my Nissan Skyline? A Gallo 12 or Gallo 24?
Gallo, that's the thing.
And he says 24. And it's just 12 ounces of Gallo soda or because he's holding a cup from
and he doesn't even realize it. That's a great cop.
Yeah. So he's like, oh no, I need a real racer. So he picks his friend Roman.
Even though we don't get any like evidence that Roman actually knows anything about cars, he can drive them obviously, but we don't know that he knows anything about them.
We get it through osmosis because they both grew up together, and we know from the first one that Brian did boost cars and joyride cars, and he is a car guy because of that. That's why they put him on the job in the first one.
Yeah.
And Roman did all this with him when he was a kid. The problem is when
that's true.
When he became a cop, Roman stayed a criminal and got busted while stealing cars from a garage.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So they kind of, and the first time we do see him, he is driving for a demolition derby and winning. So
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean you can do mechanics and know about engines too much.
no, but you can drive.
Yeah, that'll give him. He can drive.
That's
like
really
a
all he has to do.
mother trucker.
yeah,
He can drive.
yeah,
He got the stare and drive from me. You know.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like everything combined just makes the second one a worse movie, much worse movie than the first one.
I
And there's not
like
even
the flashiness though.
But it's but for me, since I don't like that, there's barely anything that like keep me interested in the movie. There are less
villain.
Yeah, there are less
Story isn't very interesting.
less set pieces. You have the race, the racing in the beginning, which is even more CGI than in the first movie.
Mm-hmm. It looks very good though.
It looks cool.
For 2003.
Yeah, but it feels more fake.
Yeah.
And the big set piece in the end is a car jumping to a boat.
Which I find awesome though.
Yeah, but I
love that stunt.
It's not a high-speed chase jumping between trucks and cars. It's another thing, making it feel much cheaper. Like, oh, we can jump one car from a static ramp to a boat.
Yeah, that's true. It is very one way, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of. I mean, there's a few races, but they're not races. It's just get there on time.
Yeah.
It's not actually racing for a prize, so it's
yeah. So there's not a lot of excitement in the movie, and
it's more highways than downtown when they do race, or it's backwoods, Florida swamps.
Exactly.
Towards the end.
so it was a bad sequel, and that's why I kind of at that point I stopped watching the franchise.
Isn't that what Vin Diesel said, that's why he didn't want to do it? Because it's not like a great sequel.
It's not a great sequel. It's just a retread. Yeah, that's why he declined to do it. Instead, he went and did the first XXX movie, which is
the same
better.
but less cars.
That movie is terrible, but at least it has like some charm to it that Too Fast and Furious just does not have.
Yeah.
Oh,
but it's kind of the same thing, though. It's thrill-seeking, high-speed, everything.
Oh, sure, yeah, sure.
Not that I remember much of the first XXX, but still.
It's fine. It's better than the second one, but both of them suck in comparison with the third one.
You mean XXX?
XXX Return of Xander Cage is a legit masterpiece in my mind. I'm not even joking. There are some set pieces in that movie that are insane, even though they're all faked. But I mean, it's just like, wow. We'll talk about that at some point. There is a review of it on my YouTube channel. You can check it out. Just look.
Or if you request it on Patreon, maybe we'll do an episode on it.
Exactly. But let's talk more about Too Fast and Furious. There are some things that don't really make up for the bad things, but there are things that make it feel like a Fast and Furious movie, though. First of all, there is the whole crime element with cars, of course.
Yes.
And another thing that was introduced in this one that became a staple later is the music. It doesn't have a lot of like iconic songs, but it does have I almost called him Busta Rhymes. What's his name? Ludacris.
Ludacris.
Chris Bridges. He plays a role in the movie, so he has a song on the soundtrack, and it's "Act a Fool," which became a hit.
Right.
Maybe not because of the movie, but it was in the movie. And that's something that the franchise has really capitalized on later.
Oh yes.
Like there are some songs that like
if you
mention
like them, people were gonna say that's the Fast and Furious song.
Yeah, some people don't even think about that, but you remember what's it called? The DJ Snake and Lil Jon song that everybody was listening to for a while back in 2015.
How does it go?
Turn Down for What?
Oh yes.
That's from Fast and Furious 7.
Yes.
People don't think about that, but it is from Fast and Furious 7.
Yeah.
And of course you have white people being introduced to Don Omar
Yes.
in the third and fourth movie, when he's literally in the movie, the fourth one.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if
I
it
think
came.
Gasolina became kind of big after. Oh, I don't remember which
No,
one that's in.
that's Daddy Yankee. I don't think that's in the movies, is
No,
it?
Gasolina is in one of
Oh, it
them.
is. Okay. Well, that should be like the. Which one?
5 or 6, I think.
But Gasoline is much older than that.
Yeah, well,
That's from like 2005.
Oh well, maybe they reused an old one then, or it's a
Yeah.
remix or something. I don't know, but it is in one of the movies.
Okay.
However, when I think of Fast and Furious music, I have two songs in mind. First one is that one where it goes like, "This moment we own it."
Yeah,
That
that's
one,
from the fourth one, I think.
I think, but they reuse it.
Yes, they used it a couple of times. It becomes almost like a theme song.
And also, obviously, the "When I See You Again" with
Yeah,
um
from the
when
seventh one. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
Ah, I
uh,
still remember that moment in the theater.
yeah. Ugh.
We'll talk about that when we get to
Talk
that.
about that in the next episode. Yeah, and there's the opening song from. It's not as iconic, but it's the one I think of. The opening song from Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, the one with the pitched vocals. I don't know what it's called.
Right, yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I don't remember the name.
that's kind of where it actually started. You had, so of course, Act the Fool in the second one, but I think the music really took more place. It had a bigger. There was more space for the music in the third one, and that was because of the director, I would say. But we'll get to that when we talk about the third one. We should wrap up the discussion of the second one.
Yes.
Um,
Well, that could actually be a good what's it called? Segue into the
Yeah.
third one.
Yeah, because the second one, for me, it's like down there with the. It's probably the worst or the second worst for me in the franchise. It's down with the fourth one, which we'll get to, but
Yeah.
because it has very few redeeming features. I guess the only one is that it's at least it has Paul Walker, but he's not enough to carry it. He needs a Vin Diesel to play off of. They work
Yes.
well together.
They work very well together.
Tyrese,
Roman is
as Roman works, he's funny, but he's not Vin Diesel.
no, and he's not main character. He's the
No,
funny
he's the
sidekick.
funny sidekick. Yeah. Which I think is why he got kind of mad at The Rock later on. In the behind the scenes drama around the eighth
right.
one.
Yeah.
When he felt like, oh, we've been in this franchise for 20 years and we're treated like we're the sidekick characters. We'll talk about that in the next episode as well.
Yes.
But anyway, yeah, let's talk about the third one then.
My segue to the third one was, I think I found the title of the song.
Yeah?
I think it's actually called Tokyo Drift.
Oh, well.
Performed by the Teriyaki Boys.
What?
According to Google.
Can you play it real quickly?
Yeah, I think that's the one at least.
Or if you
I don't know if you're gonna hear it.
No, but if you
Oh no.
What?
Shut up. It got all of the intro, even the Universal logo. Let's not do that. Well, where is it?
Well, don't do that. Just share it.
No, but you hear it, right?
No, I didn't hear anything.
Is that no? Okay, is that the one you're thinking of?
I didn't hear anything.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna send it to you. I think that's the one you're thinking of, and if Google is correct, then that's Teriyaki Boys. I don't know. Either way.
Why didn't you? Okay. Okay, I'm not gonna play it. Just
never mind.
Just
never mind. We'll double check that till next episode.
Yeah. You could have just
third one.
Looked up the song title if you had a song title. Whatever. Anyway.
Third one.
The third one. Yes. This was where the franchise hit a slump because the second one, while it did well, I mean, I think it technically made more money, but not a lot more money. But it was much more expensive, and it got worse reviews. I mean, the first one has pretty good reviews for a dumb gore movie. It has 58.
58 in Metascore, while Too Fast has 38.
Yeah. So they we need to try something different. So in the third one,
They
it's
switched it up.
yeah, and it's probably the least Fast and Furious-y movie in the whole
Yes.
franchise. At a first glance, there are
Well,
still
yeah, because
the themes are still there, but yeah,
you're missing the main characters. You're
none
in
of
a
the characters are
completely
there.
different country.
Completely different country. There's not even any racing. They're drifting in this one.
Yeah. I mean, there's one race sort of at the end, but there are
That's
a
still a
lot of
drift.
drifting as
It's a
well.
drift. Yeah, it's a drift race. They're not racing. They're
No, but I'm
drifting.
thinking about the streets of Tokyo.
That's
That's
not
racing.
a race. It's car chase.
Yeah, that's true. That's a car chase.
And that's not the end. The end is a drift through the mountain.
Oh yeah, I forgot the order of the movie.
Yes, that's something we're going to discuss a little later. The fact that you call yourself a fan, but you don't know what happens in which movie.
No, they're all just one big movie to me now.
Yeah, that's weird, but okay. Yeah, so the third one right away. I know that one performed pretty poorly, I think, and it got even worse reviews.
It's a 45 on Metascore.
Yeah, okay, so it got better than
The second one.
the second
at least,
one, but I'm
not
pretty
good.
yeah, and it only made 159 million so it made like 50 million less, and they still spent around 78 million on it. So
Yeah.
I can understand why why they after that kind of gave up on the franchise for a while, because we're a few years before they tried again with the soft reboot Fast and Furious.
There's 3 years in between them instead of just
1 or 2
one,
years,
basically. Yeah.
But for me, the third one is one of the better ones.
See, I hear both things. I hear a lot of people saying that the third one is one of the best ones, and a lot of people saying that the third one is bottom, like the worst.
Yeah, but that's weird, because I know a lot of people back then dismissed it because, oh, it's not like Fast and Furious. There's no Dom, there's no racing. You know, it's these high school kids drifting.
Yes.
There's no cops infiltrating. There's barely a criminal element to it.
I mean, he's racing a mobster kid, but
sure, but that's not really part
mobster's
of
not really in it.
No,
so.
yeah. So
and you have Twinkie hustling, but that's about it.
That's not really illegal, I think.
Nah,
it's just frowned upon because he's reselling stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what makes it a Fast and Furious movie is that it still has of course the racing element. There is racing. Yes. The first scene in the movie is a race. I mean, after the opening credits. A really good race. And there's a lot of stuff, like we said, this one was where the music started becoming iconic. People remember that song. And you also definitely had more of a family element than you had in the second one.
Yeah.
So there are things
you do have that whole pit crew.
Yeah, that hangs out with Han and Han and Sean, played by Lucas Black, becoming like that's the new Dom and Brian unit
duo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And has all, and also the third one is the first one that really had a sense of style. When it comes to like the directing.
Yes.
And just
I thought you meant
the look of it.
I thought you meant like the fashion. It's like, well, they don't have a lot of style in the fashion. It's all very uniform and pretty basic stuff.
Yeah, but that's also part of it. The fact that the style is a little more timeless. I mean, it's still, you see a lot of like typical Japanese stuff, like Harajuku stuff and that. But I mean, that's kind of what it still looks like. So
that's still present. Though.
Of the first three, it has aged the best, I would say.
It does have one element that
I know
fucking bugs me, and it's the flip phones.
The flip phones, especially since this is supposed to take place in like 2012 or 13. Yeah,
I think. It's just like, no, you don't have flip phones.
Doesn't really work. But yeah,
they did they didn't have anything else to work with. Probably,
yeah, they couldn't do anything about that. So
no.
But other than that, like, not so much was spent on like making it cool and hip for all the kids to love. I mean, they were instead focusing on making a good movie. Because I think Sean Boswell, played by Lucas Black, is almost a better protagonist than Paul Walker as Brian. He has more of an
Protagonist,
arc.
yes. Actor, no.
Yeah, I didn't used to like Lucas Black, but over the years, I really come to appreciate him. I think he's a good
Well,
actor.
now maybe, but not back then.
Maybe not so much back then, yeah, but
He's
he's gotten
very country
better.
back then.
Yeah, well, he still is. You should see him
True,
in
but he's
I don't remember when it came out, like 2016 or 17. He made a movie called Promised Land, where he literally plays a hick, and it's just like, hey, you were born to play this role. No, but
yeah.
I think he's good. And rewatching it now, because I watched the first four ones for this discussion.
Yeah, me too.
I think he's good with what he has to deal with. There are some other actors in the movie that aren't that good, but
Well, no. There's a bunch of actors that aren't that good in this one as well.
yes. But overall, I think the movie delivers much more on like excitement, drama, comedy than the second one, and in some cases
Yes.
even more than the first one.
It has more things happening, basically.
Yeah,
'Cause you have a lot more elements and things they're doing apart from the fact that they're training to race. You have the whole when he's going around with Han to like collect money.
mm,
Have him going around town with Twinkie. You have the school thing. You
yeah.
have
But what's
hanging
also
out the garage. You have the girl. Like,
but that's also something that is partly used in the later movies. Also kind of introduced here, but also just good writing. The fact that it doesn't feel like the racing and the drama is two different parts. Like, oh, now we're gonna race. Now there's drama and crime. The racing or the drifting is implemented into his character arc
that's
and the motivation of his character or the
yeah.
characters in general.
'Cause that's
Um,
how they solve the beef, basically.
yeah, it works pretty organically its way into the plot. It's not just no, we're gonna stop the movie for some racing,
Yeah,
which
no.
I mean, they do
They
it.
kind of do it a bit in the first and second one because it's a lot about like just getting money when they race.
Yeah,
In this one, they race for honor.
yeah, and you get to know characters through them racing, like
Yeah,
when Neela shows him the mountain and how they drift in the mountains.
yeah,
So all that is very good, and like I said, it's the first time it really feels like someone's not singular vision, but it feels like Justin Lin, the director, really put his stamp on it. This is a Justin Lin
yes.
movie, where the first one, I don't know, the guy's name is Cohen something, Rob Cohen.
Rob Cohen.
He doesn't really have he's like a good like workman's director. He has directed
Yeah.
some fine movies, but there's not like, ooh, I can really feel it. This is a Rob Cohen movie.
No, he doesn't have like a specific style that
Yeah.
is very much him.
And that's
He's just
the
a
second,
director.
yeah, the second one. It's really strange because they had John Singleton, who I mean, he directed a really good movie as his first movie called Boys in the Hood.
Mm-hmm.
But then after that, he made some more good movies, but especially then Too Fast and Furious. It just has none of his style to it,
No.
none of his feel to it. That was really that was one of the biggest disappointments for me, even back then, because I knew about Boys in the Hood, and I was like, "There's none of that feeling in this one.
No.
It's just a car movie now." Okay. This one, however, the third one really feels like a Justin Lin movie, and we didn't know that back then, because this was his big mainstream breakthrough, but it definitely showed when he did the later ones, because he's the one who has made the most movies. He's made
It's also like his fourth big
three,
movie.
4, 5. He made 4 of them. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's his big breakthrough movie.
Well, wait. Tokyo Drift, Fast and Furious,
Yeah,
5 and 6. He's
Yeah.
in the and
that's
then
4.
Yeah, but he's did the ninth
Well,
one
yeah,
as well. We
yeah.
haven't
Well, we're
seen
not
that
talking
yet,
about
though.
that yet, but and we haven't seen that one yet. So
I'm gonna save this that I just saw for another episode. But yes, I agree. You can sense his style, and that style works very well with what they're trying to do, even going forward in the movies.
yeah, and it comes back in the other movies. You can feel that they are Justin Lin movies.
Yeah,
Um,
which also helps with keeping it a franchise that is like it is a franchise. It's not just random movies thrown into the same
Yeah,
universe.
yeah, because you need you need a voice that
Mm-hmm.
guides the movies. That's why the DC extended universe movies all are different, and they all suck. Most of them suck.
Yes.
And as much as I hate the Marvel franchise, they at least all mostly look the same because you have one guiding voice in Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
Well, which you also do have in this one, because I'm pretty sure that Neil H. Morris has produced every movie, I think. So he's kind of been a guiding voice, and that also shows, especially from like 4 and forward, because they kind of
Yes.
that's when they become they have a similar style to them.
That's when they become the Fast and Furious that we've come to love and know at the
Exactly,
moment.
exactly. Let me just double check.
I think that's him at least. I'm not entirely sure.
Let's see. He's done what? Oh, for
I
Sony
hate the new
Pictures.
IMDb. I can't find where stuff are.
What?
I'm looking at the new IMDb layout. I don't like it. I can't find where anything is.
Oh, okay. He's done, yeah, the Fast and the Furious, 2 Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift, Fast and Furious, Fast 5, Fast and Furious 6, Furious 7, Fate of the Furious, and F9. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
so
produced
he's in
all of
all
them.
of it.
Yeah.
But it probably also took him some time to find the right
Yeah,
setting to
that's
have in
why
all these movies, which is why the first two are quite different.
yeah,
Even the
he
third
hired
one's.
he hired Rob Cohen because he had worked with him before on a movie called The Skulls.
Mm-hmm.
But then he picked John Singleton because he was still at that point kind of like the hot cool director.
Yeah.
But that didn't really work. So then he tried Justin Lin, and it worked. That's why he kept
Yeah.
him until Justin Lin, I'm pretty sure, like said no thank you to make the 7th one, because he didn't want to be the Fast and Furious guy, which is kind of funny now that he's back.
Yeah.
um, which
What did he do? Did he do something instead?
yes, he wanted to like he didn't want to be like typecast as the Fast and Furious director, so he did a couple of episodes of the second season of
True
True
Detective.
Detective, which the second season was terrible, not because of him, but even like that's just bad. And then
he
he
did
did the
Star
third
Trek
Star Trek
Beyond.
movie, which you can definitely tell is a Justin Lin movie, because you have racing and pop music in it, which you did
Yeah,
not have
that's
in the other
true.
ones, and some cool set pieces.
Yeah.
I would say that's the best of those 3 movies, even though they all just kind of suck.
I actually don't remember what I think about them. I haven't.
Yeah.
I've seen them once and I didn't see more.
Yeah. But yeah, and I think he did something else as well. But then he came
Yeah, a
back
few
to,
episodes of random series. It
yeah.
looks like.
But now he's back to make the 9th one, which I'm happy about that, because
Yes,
hopefully
I'm.
it'll be good. But anyway,
I'm very excited about
yeah,
that.
back to
Back to Tokyo Drift.
back to Tokyo Drift.
Back to Tokyo.
Yes. If there's like
The one thing that bothers me about
yeah.
Tokyo Drift is the acting, to be honest.
Yes, I was gonna
'Cause a
say,
lot
if
of the
there's one thing I don't
actors
like,
are...
it is the acting. The guy who plays DK, the Drift King, the mini
Yeah.
mobster, he sucks. He has one look, and it's looking down, like through an furrowed brow,
like...
and like cheeky smile, trying to look
It's
intimidating.
a bit Blue Steel, you know.
Yeah, he has one look. And then
Same with the Nila
the girl who plays Neela, terrible. I
Yeah.
I don't want to be mean, but she's terrible. What's her name?
I'm trying to
Natalie
find
Kelly.
her.
Who?
Yeah, I think most of the actors were kind of young. For once, though, teenagers playing teenagers, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which maybe didn't help.
No, yeah. I think I think they actually had, or at least like younger people play teenagers. And yeah, that didn't really help.
No.
She hasn't done a lot after that. It was her first movie. Oh, okay. Well, all right.
Why did she get cast as the...
She was in she did a pilot for something called Mermaid before that, but then she was cast in Tokyo Drift. I guess it was just a casting call,
Yeah.
Her agent got her a casting session. Um. Anyway.
Yeah, but the same with like Twink isn't. I think he's probably one of the better actors, but he's still not
But
good. Well,
no,
not Twink is not
it's
the actor.
Lil Bow Wow or Bow Wow as
Yeah,
he wanted to be called back then. Now it's Chad something his real name.
yeah, something.
I don't remember. Um,
Chad Moss.
Chad Moss, yes, thank you. Yeah, he's not bad, but he's not great either.
No.
What really irks you is Neela and Drift King guy. They suck. And Lucas Black,
Yeah.
he's not great in this early role for him.
No.
Yeah, it's bad. And that's the only thing that really holds it back. Other than that, most of it's great.
Well, yeah, it's much more like it feels more alive than the
Yeah.
first and second one because there's a lot more happening. It's not just those few things.
Yeah, exactly.
You have a whole family dynamic with him and his father. Sean and his father, and you have him finding like a new father figure in Han.
Yeah.
You have him trying to figure out Tokyo with Twinkie or Twink.
Yeah, which is an unfortunate nickname for him.
Very unfortunate nickname.
I guess that wasn't a thing among straight people back then.
No, it can't have been.
Going, come on, Twink. All right. Yeah, it's weird.
Oh my god.
So
So there's a lot more happening.
yes, and it all just it works better.
Yes.
But then it's so weird that it's the one that kind of ruined the franchise for a while.
But I think it's because people, specifically now when you're looking back at it, everyone's like, but that one doesn't have Brian and Dom, so why should that one count?
No, I think that was the problem back then. Like, this
I
isn't
think
the
people
fast.
still say that.
But that's the well. Let me.
Also, I don't like that they kind of, I don't know if we want to say retcon, but they like decided later on that, oh no, this movie takes place much later in time.
Yeah, but that wasn't a problem then. Like, listen. This
No, but now I'm saying now.
But now there are more people who like it now than dislike it.
I hear both still.
I haven't heard anyone talk bad about this one.
I know.
From now. Tell me.
Well, you can start off with my boyfriend.
Well, okay, but your boyfriend. He doesn't matter. It's someone else.
A bunch of like people in my age that
Oh,
like,
okay.
Stuff.
I'm thinking.
I'm not talking about like movie review people and YouTubers and stuff who like.
Okay, but I mean,
have public opinions.
Your friends, have they rewatched it lately?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, whatever. But I'm thinking more of like people who watch, like reviewers, or at least people who like talk about
trust
media.
Reviewers.
Oh, okay. Why not?
Barely you as well.
This is discussion for another time. I actually have a discussion about this on my channel if you want to look it up. I think it's called Why So Critical. It's me and another YouTuber talking about criticizing movies on YouTube. Anyway.
Either way.
But yeah, okay, let's not talk about critics then. Let's talk about the fact that Christopher fucking Nolan in an interview last year said that no, I actually am quite fond of the Fast and Furious franchise, and I have a particular soft spot for Tokyo Drift. That if anything is going to like legitimize a franchise, is that Christopher Nolan says, no, this is actually pretty entertaining and fun and good.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
It is.
And you have a bunch of other people who, like, over the years have, like, oh yeah, Tokyo Drift is actually really good. You have YouTubers and podcasters. I listen to a podcast called Come Town, where all three they hate every movie they talk about. In one episode they call Forrest Gump a piece of shit, like unironically. Like, I get it, not everybody likes that movie, but Jesus, calm down.
But Jesus.
But all three just agree on that. First, the Fast and Furious movies are fun, and they say the best one is Tokyo Drift. So,
that might be pushing it a bit.
That's pushing it, but I mean, I get it. And I think people needed, for me at least, the way I see it, not your friends, but other people, I think people needed some distance from that one. Because when it came out, it was, no, where is Paul Walker? Where is
Yeah.
Vin Diesel? Where is racing in America? Where's the cops and robbers?
It
This is
is.
this isn't my Fast and Furious. I'm not gonna watch this crap.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it as just a movie, it is something that could be picked out of the bunch and be a separate movie. It didn't have to be
Yeah,
called Fast and Furious. It could be just Tokyo Drift.
and that's the mark of a good movie or a good sequel when it
Yes.
works on its own.
Yes. And in the beginning when there was only those three, I get it. Like I feel that it's not part of the first two,
Sure, yeah.
but it's also fine because like you said, a sequel doesn't have to be like starting up just where the last one ended.
No, yeah, exactly. And it does tie in with the other ones, even if it is retconning. It does tie in with
Yes.
Han appearing in the later movies. And I mean,
Yeah.
you do have a cameo by Vin Diesel in the end, so
Yes. So it works. But I can understand why some people didn't
sure,
like it.
sure. But like
But
watching,
personally, I think it works. It works very well in the universe
yeah, and
of
just
the Fast and Furious.
watching it now, like I said, as a movie, it's a good,
Yeah.
fun action movie.
It's well structured and paced. It's well directed.
Yeah,
The script is, I mean, the dialogue at least is better than the first two.
yeah,
It's not perfect. No movie is perfect, but it is a great movie
Yeah.
in and of itself.
I agree.
However,
However,
the fourth one.
So they said no more of this Tokyo Drift crap. We gotta
Let's get back to our roots.
get back to our roots. We gotta get back to Los Angeles. We gotta get back to Vin and Paul. So they made Fast and Furious, which was the big thing in the late 2000s. To just it's a fourth movie, or it's a sequel. It's like a revival sequel. We'll just make a shorter title. No
Remove
no
all the
numbers.
extras.
Yes, instead of The Fast and the Furious, it's Fast and Furious. Instead of Rambo 4, it's John Rambo. Instead of Rocky 6, it's Rocky Balboa. It's it's kind of a new beginning, but it's also a sequel. Don't worry.
Just know it's still with those other movies, but it's like fresh.
Yeah. And it was
It's the dullest movie of them all.
Well, yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, well, I was gonna get to that. I mean, it was their chance, like, get back to the roots and make a Fast and Furious movie again. And in some parts they do, but in some parts they don't. It's less of a Fast and Furious movie than Tokyo Drift, I would say.
Yes, because
and-
this movie literally loses all the racing.
Yeah, there is
I mean,
one
there's
race.
one technically.
Yeah, but there are and you have, of course, then once again, because now all of a sudden Paul Walker or Brian is a cop again. I mean, he's even an FBI agent.
Yeah.
I mean, and you have Vin Diesel is back as Dominic, and you have that again. But other than that, there's not really much in this movie that makes it a Fast and Furious movie. Like,
No.
you had a bunch of elements from the third one that felt like a Fast and Furious movie. The racing, the family, the music. The fourth one, they thought what they needed to bring back was those two characters, and that's part of it. But there are those other parts that you need as well.
Yeah, they scaled back a bit too much.
Yeah, all you have now is Paul Walker and Vin Diesel. That's not enough.
No.
Yeah, it's just that it's a. I would almost say this is the worst movie, the fourth one.
Most likely, yes.
Yeah,
Because you have I think it's the first scene or the first sequel.
yeah, the sequence.
Sequence. I mean, sequence when they're in. I think
they're in
Mexico?
the Dominican Republic.
Oh, okay, yeah. When they
That's
do
a
the whole getting the gasoline
Stealing the
truck.
gasoline. Yeah, that's a good
And
scene.
then they're sitting on the beach and everyone's in white and they're drinking Coronas and they're talking about Rio and Tokyo and stuff.
Yeah,
That feels very
like
Fast and Furious.
And they're a team working together to do some vehicular crime.
Yeah.
That's Fast and Furious. And you have a ridiculous stunt where he drives under the burning tanker.
Bouncing, burning tanker.
Yes. But then the rest of the movie is, first of all, completely joyless.
Yes.
There are no jokes,
It's
no
pure
humor,
vengeance.
no like levity. It all takes place at night. There's dingy nightclubs. There's a dark desert. People are being shot. This is the first movie where they use guns a lot. There's like one scene in
where
the other
they
movies.
use guns a
yeah.
lot. There's a lot of guns in the first one as well.
Yeah, but they only use it once, and that's, I mean, yeah, the trucker has a shotgun. Johnny Tran has a Uzi. That's it. The second one has like one scene where Tyrese uses a gun. Roman shoots against the cops, towards the cops. Third one has no guns because it's Japan.
Nope.
Oh, they pull a gun, but they never use it.
That's true.
But this one
has shootouts and
standoffs
in faces all the time.
Yeah, people being killed. That's another thing. This is the first time they kill off a character. The movie almost starts with Letty, Michelle Rodriguez's character. We find out that she's dead.
Mm-hmm. Which is why the entire movie is so sad, basically.
Yeah, and
because everyone's just angry and wants revenge.
Yeah, even when they do come together and you have a little bit of that family feeling again when they have dinner together, Dom, Brian, and Mia. They're still it's still interrupted by Dom finding out that Brian had used Letty to get to the bad guy, Braga.
Yeah.
And they fight and they break up the family unit again. It's no fun at all.
Nope, it's all very dramatic and dark and dreary.
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, so maybe we'll have some good action scenes. No,
not really.
Like, you had the shootouts, but that's not what we watch a Fast and Furious movie for. We can get shootouts in any other action movie.
Yeah,
you want some vehicular.
If you want good shootouts, watch John Wick.
Yeah, but we didn't have John Wick back then. But watch Rambo.
Yeah.
Watch a Bond movie. There's lots more shootout.
Yeah, but in Fast and Furious we want cars, and we have that one race.
One race, which is fine.
Competing to become part
of the Braga crew. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But after that, there are two scenes where they just drive through tunnels and in a straight line through a desert. One
of them's not even like a heist. It's just trying to keep off the radar, basically.
Yeah, yeah. No, literally.
There's no sense of urgency in that scene except for they have a time frame.
We have to hurry, yeah, but it's not fun, and it's all dark because they're sneaking across the border, so there's no lights on, no neon. They're all driving in a straight line. It's boring.
Yeah, I mean, you even have a scene when they're sitting in their cars in the back of a truck.
Yeah,
talking.
You have the final where they kind of redo that running across the border.
Yes.
But the other way from Mexico to America, and they're all being chased by Braga's goons.
That's a bit more exciting, sure.
That's a bit more exciting, but they're still just driving through the desert. There's no driving through the streets and there's
no fast turns and having to find a shortcut or jumping over things. No,
just driving forward
into one fake
shooting
stone wall.
Yeah, and it's so boring.
Yeah. You don't even get like character development in this because they're all so fucking angry all the time.
Yeah, and whatever you get is kind of repeating the first one because this is a soft reboot. It's supposed to feel kind of like the first one, which it does.
Sure.
At least when it comes to the characters. But I mean,
but it's even more boring than the first one because like there's no nuances to anyone except for you have that one kind of funny character, Dwight, the guy who likes feet.
Yeah, but he's in 2 scenes, so
that's true.
And
that's a shame.
Yeah,
he could have been in more. He was interesting enough.
Then also, it's so strange that this is supposed to be like the big return to the franchise of the characters you love.
Yeah.
But first of all, you kill off one of the main characters, Letty. And
one
then
of the few main characters that's actually in it.
Yeah, and Jesse is of course dead since the first one, so we can't bring him back. But then, where's Vince? Where's Leon? Why is Mia only in like 3 scenes?
Why didn't they bring back anyone from the second one?
Yeah,
like have Tesh or something.
Yeah,
no,
they're in Florida.
They introduce 2 new girls.
Yeah, which
Giselle and Trin, or Lisa Lapira.
Who?
The cop lady who's like helping Brian look up cars and people.
I wouldn't call. She's not part of the team. She's just in the FBI offices.
She's in. He has so many scenes with her that it feels like they were trying to like introduce her, but She doesn't have anything to do.
No,
It's
she's
weird.
not. She's really only in 2 scenes with him.
No, there's more than 2
Yeah,
scenes.
but when it's just them interacting,
I guess.
it's when he wants to
And
prince off
then
the glasses and to get the car, make and mark of the cars from all the David Parks.
I guess.
That's it.
Oh.
She's
And
not a
then
character in the movie.
and then you have Giselle, who's
She's supposed to be the hot
the new
lady
hot
that
girl.
hangs with Braga, or I guess Campos.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
But she's also very one-dimensional, and
yeah, and
since
since
no one actually has interest for her,
yeah, she's not a
there's
love interest. She's there to
she's trying
do
to be one, but
yeah,
like
but Dom is just lost the love of his life, so
yeah.
wrong time to hit on him. So
Yeah.
what is she there for? I mean,
Don't
I
know.
think it's fine that she's there because then she becomes more of a team player in the later movies. But what was the point of having the character? It's just to show that Dom doesn't care about anyone else than Letty. Like, we already knew that because they were
I think they're just
family.
trying to do a second Eva Mendes character.
Oh yeah,
Or Monica Fuentes from the
yeah.
second one.
Let's go back quick to the second one, talking about bad acting. Nothing. She's Eva Mendes has done good work, but she is terrible in. She's done great work even,
that
but
one,
she's
yeah,
terrible
no.
in Too Fast and Furious.
I think because she's the same character basically.
Yes, sort of.
She's the bad guy's, number one girl.
Yeah.
But she doesn't really have anything to do.
No. Yeah, and the same.
Except for like round up the cars. Like, okay, guys, it's time to drive.
Yeah, and it's the same thing here in the fourth one with
Gal Gadot.
Wonder Woman. Gal Gadot. Thank you.
Gadot, yeah.
Gadot.
Giselle.
Yes, Giselle. Which is kind of funny. I think she's supposed to play like a South American Mexican person.
Yeah.
But she's from Israel.
I mean, I guess she could pass for it if she wants to, but
sure,
not her accent.
Exactly, her accent is wrong. Let's quickly then go back. We missed talking about that in the second one, where they have the whitest guy ever play a like South American drug lord,
yes.
Carter Verona, who's played by what's his name, Cole Hauser.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I like Cole Hauser. He has done some good work. He's like a good workman actor, working actor, but he is completely miscast in that movie.
Yeah.
They like give him a super dark tan and colored his hair black and like you're a South American drug kingpin. I'm like, no, he's not. He's Cole Hauser, the American kid with a German descent. Like,
yeah.
No, why not cast a Cuban actor or a South American actor?
I don't know.
It's so weird. But we don't have to talk more about that. It's so weird. He
kind of did the same with Giselle, though.
Yeah,
they wanted her to be something else.
He basically plays Scarface. The only thing he doesn't do is the voice, which thank you for not doing the accent.
Yeah, thank you.
He's a cockroach.
That would have been too much.
Yeah, but that's it. If he had done that, it would have been a complete ripoff of Scarface.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I mean, they don't say where Giselle is supposed to be from, but you get the feeling that she's supposed to be...
and she says Vaya con Dios. And since Braga and his crew is from Mexico, or at least South America...
Yeah, like all of them.
I don't think they would have hired a lady from Israel. Where would they have met her if she was in Israel?
Craigslist?
Yeah, I know. Goons are us. Yeah, so it's
yeah.
that's weird, and she has nothing to do in the movie. I mean,
no.
Once again, just like with Devon Aoki in the second one, I don't mind her being there.
No,
dear Lord in heaven, but she's nothing to do. She's
luckily
wasted.
She gets to be more developed and more interesting in the further movies.
Exactly.
Although
and yeah, she doesn't really have much to do that either. But yeah,
no.
We'll get that. But then I'm wondering because. Yeah, we didn't mention that. This is when the movie starts. We have Han there, even though we died in the last one, which is a retcon. Yes. Because Justin Lin always wants to have Sung Kang, the actor, in his movies.
Mm.
He was in his movies before Tokyo Drift, and it's kind of like the same way Quentin Tarantino always has Samuel L. Jackson in his movies, or almost always.
Yes. Almost always, yeah.
They're kind of like their muse or their go-to guy,
Yeah.
So he's basically in that as like an Easter egg, like, hey, so this took place before or whatever. I don't know.
I think that's why he's mentioning Tokyo in the beginning.
Yes, that's the thing. They are sowing seeds for the future movies in there. So you have a completely useless character in this one, Giselle, who does come back and is like less useless in the other movies.
Still kind of
In 5
useless,
and
but
6.
less.
Yeah, but she's like a procurer of cars and tech.
Yeah.
But also the fact that Han in the beginning of the fourth one does mention both Tokyo and Rio, right?
No, that's not him mentioning Rio. I think it's Letty mentioning, or Dom mentioning Rio. They're like, Rio's supposed to be nice this time of
All
year.
right, and they're doing some crazy things in Tokyo, says Han, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm wondering
So they're kind of
if Giselle was just a plant for the next movie. I don't know.
possibly.
That's dumb though, because that's the whole thing. Like, oh, we'll develop her in the sequel. That's not how you should. That's not how you make a movie. So yeah.
But the thing is, I'm not entirely sure how much of the future movies were actually planned when they did Fast and Furious.
No,
the fourth one.
sure.
Like they had probably like, oh, if we do another one, I want it to take place there, and if we do another one, I want that to happen.
Yeah,
But they probably didn't have like proper movies planned.
I gotta say though, that's how you're supposed to make movies.
Yeah.
This whole notion of having like a 10-year plan that they did with Marvel, that's
stupid.
I mean, it worked for them, but imagine if Iron Man wasn't a success.
Yeah.
Then their 10-year plans would have crumbled in 2008.
Yeah.
If you want to make a sequel, you just look, did the last one do well? Yes. All right, we'll make a sequel then.
Yeah.
I think that's
is what they did apparently with the fourth and fifth, because Vin Diesel originally wanted to make the fourth and fifth back to back, but Universal was like,
Calm
see
down.
how the fourth.
Exactly.
Let's see if we can make the money back, and then we can keep moving.
Yes.
Because isn't it like in 5 and forward that Vin Diesel is a producer? Or is it in 4 and forward even?
I think he might be a producer in earlier movies. I'm not sure.
I know that he's producing the later movies at least. I'm not sure
yes.
when he starts to.
It might be the fourth movie. Yeah, he came back and he said, if I'm going to come back, I want a producing role. That's probably part of it. Yeah. Right. The movie. It sucks.
But it feels like they planted seeds for some future movies, and then they kind of like, well, we have to throw in Tokyo to explain why Han is there, and so we can actually keep him in the movies.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, the biggest Easter egg is of course mentioning Rio, because the next one does take place in Rio. So
yes.
Oh my God, I've never looked this up before.
What?
Vin Diesel. I kind of understood that Vin Diesel isn't his real name, but I thought maybe his name is like Vincent Diololodo or whatever.
No, it's something completely different.
Yes,
isn't it?
it's Mark Sinclair.
Yeah.
Where did you get Vin from?
Some actors, when they have to sign up for the Screen Actors Guild, they just choose the most random names because, well, no one else is gonna have it.
Sure, but Jesus. Okay, whatever. I'm sorry. I was just gonna look up what he had produced, and I saw Mark Sinclair. Jesus.
Yeah, I've read that before somewhere.
No.
The worst part about number 4 is that there's not a lot to say about it.
Yeah, that's
honest.
it. Because it's boring. It's all boring.
Nothing really happens. All it does is open up for, the sequel, the next one with the end scene.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
And obviously then the sequel baits in the beginning, the first scenes. But everything in between, all the work, the actual plot is pointless.
Which is also kind of weird dull. Since we just praised like the directing from Justin Lin in the third one.
Well, yes. The directing is still good. It's the script that's lacking.
Yeah, I think it is the script, yeah. But it's written by the same guy who wrote the first one, so it's...
Sure.
No, wait, maybe not. No, Chris Morgan. He wrote
Tokyo Drift.
He didn't write the first and second one. Yeah, true. Yeah, it's
But maybe
so
also
weird.
it's the studio that's involved in that. I don't know.
I
if
think
they had
they
anything to
wanted to
poke
make. I
in.
think they wanted to make a safe movie. So
Yeah.
we kind of remake the first one, but we leave it open for more sequels in the future.
Mm.
That's about
And
it.
also maybe they scaled back the whole car aspect to make it more of a heist movie, because that's more
Yeah,
a broader audience will see a heist movie than a car movie.
sure. And I mean, it worked. It brought in
It
more
did
money
work.
than any of the other movies, but it got mixed. I mean, they all got mixed
It has a
reviews.
46 in Metascore, so it
Yeah, so
doesn't.
it's
None of the first movies have a great score.
yeah, but I mean, they're all lower than the first movie, which I almost
Yes,
understand.
yes,
Um,
definitely.
uh, what
We
it
said we wouldn't rank them, but this is definitely
yes,
bottom.
for me that is it's down there with the second one, even maybe lower than the second one.
It is lower than the second one for me, definitely.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
and then what it did right though, like we said, we mentioned the first scene.
Yes,
Feels very
the
Fast and
first
Furious.
sequence.
So, yeah, first
Yes,
sequence, very good, very fun, very exciting.
yes,
And then they do evolve the characters a little bit and kind of cement some of their motivations for later movies, like
yeah,
because you have the whole thing, I ain't going back to jail with Dominic, with Dom.
yes,
Like that's this big thing, like in the first movie, like why they think he is the bad guy, because he has that whole mentality. Um,
yeah,
and then in this one, he tries to be the good guy by helping. This time, he's helping the cop to stop a bad guy instead of being
yes.
uh, chased by a cop.
It takes some what's it called? Vitalan.
Sure, convincing.
Convincing.
Yeah,
But yes, he does eventually go over to the good side and try to help the
yeah.
cop.
And you have Paul Walker, he's a cop in the first one, criminal in the second one. Now he's a cop again, and there's a line between him and Mia, Jordana Brewster's character, where she says, "Maybe you're not a good guy playing the bad guy. Maybe you're a bad guy playing a good guy."
Yes.
And once again, in this one, after Vin Diesel, he does the right thing. He doesn't kill Braga. He helps arrest him. He is still um, uh, given a prison sentence because of all the stuff he's done.
Yeah, he's wanted.
He's wanted. Yeah, he's wanted in the entire country.
Basically.
He gets 10 years in prison. So like that's what you get for being a good guy, which is like, so then it cements him as like, I'm sorry, I might be the bad guy, but I can do the right thing, which is
Yes.
basically the character in the later movies.
Yeah.
But then you have the last scene where once again Paul Walker decides that yes, I am the bad guy playing the good guy. So he brings together the whole team. You have, which we didn't mention. I mentioned it before. Don Omar is in the movie together with Tego Calderon, another pop star, Latin pop star, but also Han and Mia are all there to spring him from the prison transport, which really cements them as like going to be criminals on the run, which they are in the later movie, or at least in the fifth movie.
I kind of find it weird that Brian just calls up the team because he doesn't know the other ones. He knows Mia.
Yeah, but and probably since everyone who Dom meets becomes like part of his family.
Yeah, and since Mia's his sister, she probably knows everyone.
She could probably find the numbers,
Yeah.
Even though they don't hang out, they could find the numbers. And also, it's a movie.
Maybe they have a Facebook group.
Sure, yeah. Oh, yeah. The family.
Yeah.
But that's so weird because the first scene, very Fast and Furious, very fun. Last scene, very Fast and Furious, very fun.
Very fun.
Everything in the middle hour and 20 minutes, terrible.
I actually remember like people applauding when the last scene, like when they zoom in with the cars, like what?
Yeah, because that's when it becomes a Fast
wild.
and Furious movie. We're like, yes!
Yeah.
And they're like, fuck, the movie's over.
And then
now we have to wait for the last one, or
oh.
for the next one. Yeah. It's
if they made the next one, but luckily they did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they announced it pretty quickly afterwards because I mean that came out in 2009, and the fifth one came out in 2011. So
yeah, but I mean they did have a little bit of waiting for the box office.
Sure, yeah, sure.
Before they're like, okay,
we should also mention that this is around the time where I became a fan.
Yes.
Because like I said before, I had seen the first one and the second one. I skipped the third one because just like everyone else back then, said, ugh, this isn't a Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah.
And I even said the last one sucked anyway, so I skipped the third one. I even skipped the fourth one. But then when they started talking about the fifth one, my girlfriend at the time, who said, I don't know why we probably talk about movies because that's all I talk about.
Yes.
And we probably started talking then about Fast and Furious, and she turned out she was a fan of them. So I told her I haven't even seen the third and fourth one. You haven't seen them? So we watched all four of them, and it's like, okay, now I get it. I am a fan because it's like the third one was good, fourth one, not so good. But I'm looking.
But they're making it another one, so yeah.
I'm looking forward to the fifth one, and yeah. So around 2010, 2011, that's because the fifth one. Whew, well, we're not going to talk about the fifth one.
No.
We'll save that. We'll save that for the next one. But yeah, god damn the fifth one. So that's really where I became a diehard fan, and probably will stay a diehard fan until the franchise ends with the next one.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Fast 10. Oh, we'll discuss that later.
Yes.
Anyway, we're gonna have to wrap this up now. We're going for an hour and a half now.
We've already sort of sneaked into number 5, so I think it's a good time to stop before we start talking too much.
Yes. I could go on. We could talking about the rest of the movies now, but yeah, it's too long. We need to wait.
Too long. We're gonna cut it up to make it another episode.
Yes.
So people can actually watch or listen, not die from how long it is.
Yeah. So, thank you for listening or watching.
Yes.
If you're watching this on YouTube, if you just want to listen to us, we are, of course, on all the major podcast platforms, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podbean, wherever you want to find us, we're there. And be sure to hit the 5-star and follow, and if you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button and the like button and all that stuff to always be updated when we release new episodes, which is every Thursday. And if you want to hear our discussion about Torque this Monday, and a bunch of other exclusive episodes, subscribe to us on Patreon. It's patreon.com/don'tmakeascene.
Should be a link tree down in the description if you're on YouTube at least. If not, you can always find links on our socials.
Yes, the link tree is down below. Even on iTunes and Spotify.
Oh yeah,
the
that's
link
true.
will be there. So just check us out there. Check us out on social media, and yeah. What do you, if you're listening to this, I'm guessing you're a fan of the movies. I'm not. I don't think you're here for our banter. You're here because of the movies.
Probably.
So yeah, tell us what you think. Which is your favorite of the first 4?
Yes.
Do you agree that the fourth one sucks? Or are you one of those that still hate the third one? Tell us.
Did you become a fan later on?
Yeah, are you a diehard fan, or did you become a fan with the fifth one, like most people, I think?
Yeah.
Please tell us. But
Please tell us.
Yeah, that's
enough for today.
That's enough for today. Once again, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next one. But until then, bye.
Bye.